All right, what is up, guys? So today I've got a Remington 870 Express Magnum. I'm going to do a quick teardown and disassembly of this shotgun. So hopefully you guys can get a better idea on how to disassemble your Remington 870 and give it a quick cleaning. So here we go. I'm going to pan this camera down, give you all a little bit better of a view. You see what I'm working with here. And first off, make sure the shotgun's clear. It is clear. From there, I'm going to unthread that barrel nut. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, right? Okay, it pops off, and at that point, the barrel simply slides right out of there. Very easy. From here, what I like to do when I'm doing a full teardown, I like to remove the trigger pack first. That way it gets the feed ramp out of the way, and it's easier for me to remove the action. So to remove that trigger pack, I like to take a small punch and a little dowel or hammer, if you will, and that's going to help me remove these two pins. So you have two pins here holding in the trigger pack. 1, 2. Doesn't matter which one you remove first. They're actually very easy to remove and put back in. Just want to make sure you get them punched all the way through. This one has a little bit of pressure on it, so I'm going to push that punch all the way through and give it a quick tap. There she goes. And from that point, trigger pack, in theory, right, should come right out. So there's your trigger pack. And once you've got that out, give it a nice cleaning and a quick lube, and it should be good to go. All right, now that that's out, it's a little bit easier to remove the action. So as you can see here, you're able to manipulate the action by pushing that pump back and forth. So to remove it, you've got these two spring bars in here, and what they do is they actually release the the next shell. So when you pump the action back, the spring bar is activated and releases that shell. But what it also does is help you release that action. So what you want to do is, let's see if I can get this on video here. Push that bar in and the action will fall right out of there. Perfect. Okay, so now that you've got the action out, your pump mechanism is going to come right out of there. It's got your, oh, I can't remember the name for these, the feed bar, not feed bars, but charge bars, if you will. So here's your action and your carrier. Okay. And then just give that a quick cleaning, quick wipe down. I already cleaned this shotgun, so I just wanted to do a quick video, a quick how-to on a disassembly of the Remington 870. So now we're going to put it back together. There's one other thing you can do to take it apart if you want to take that feed spring out. So what you're going to want to do, if you look closely here, you'll have these dimples. There's 2 of them. So those dimples hold that plug in place. So what you want to do is you push the plug in and you turn it. It's a little bit easier with a flathead screwdriver. You turn it and you line it up these channels. So one channel on each side is straight through. The other channel has a little stopper point right there to keep it in place. You can remove that spring. That's also how you remove your like wooden dowel or a shot plug. If you're going waterfowl hunting, you are limited to a certain amount of shots in there. So this gun doesn't have one because we don't do waterfowl hunting with it. So I'm just going to put that back in so we don't lose it. Slip it in and twist until you find that right channel. Again, it's probably a little bit easier with a flathead screwdriver. There we go. It's in place, not coming out of there. Pretty simple. All right, so let's reassemble this shotgun. So I like to slide that on in the orientation it needs to be going on. Put the action in place, and you will see there's cuts on the bottom plate there that line up on your action bars, and that's where it's going to sit. It can't go any other direction. It has to, it's not going to sit properly like that. So you have to put it in the proper orientation. Once that's sitting on there, this part can be a little bit tricky, so just be patient with it. Take your time. Slip the action back on. and ride it in there a little bit, and it won't go in until you push those spring bars. You got to get both of them pushed into the side. So that's kind of the tricky part. Again, a lot easier once you remove that trigger pack. So I've got one pushed in. Let's see. Yeah, it's a good time right there. Did I mention I'm a professional? Let's see if I can get both hands in there. There we go. All right, so I was able to get both my hands in there and push those spring bars, if you will, to the side. You can see there, that's one of them, and there's one on the other side right there. So you pretty much just have to push those in to get that action back in place. All right, so now that the action's in, we're going to put the trigger pack back in place. Obviously, you don't want to pull that trigger on there, or else your hammer is going to fall forward, which you can easily reset. But just to keep things from getting scratched up, you don't want to do that. So set that back in place. Also, a little side note before I do that, sometimes those spring bars can actually move forward. If I can get this thing back out of here, and your holes won't line up. See, that hole right there is not lining up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little punch tool, and I'm going to pry that bar back in place. Now it is back in place. So when you're removing the action, sometimes they move a little bit. Not a big deal. So we're going to drop that trigger back. Can't speak good. Trigger pack back in place. Hopefully. It's probably a good idea to put it on safety so you don't pull that trigger. All right, so trigger pack is in, and it looks like that bar slid forward again, or the trigger pack did. And then I'm just going to slide each pin in place if I can without being a butterfinger. This one doesn't want to go in place too easily. So I'm going to use my pin again and try and line it up inside of there. Doesn't want to go in, so I'm going to use the nylon side of the hammer. There she goes. Okay, easy enough. They look pretty good on both sides. Definitely don't want to be using the brass side like I just did. Luckily this thing's old and well used, so I don't think my father or anyone's going to really care. This is his gun, but I'm the one who gave him to him, so you know, it's pretty much mine, right? Is that how it goes? All right, so put the barrel back on. You've got your receiver end of the barrel. I like to slide the action back. Usually makes it a little bit easier. Okay, barrel's on, ribs are lined up. So send that locking barrel nut back on. And let's try a dummy shell. This is a dummy shell, inert. So send that into the feeding tube. Make sure everything's running properly. There she goes. Okay, there you go, guys. The Remington 870 Express Magnum. It's a fun little shotgun. They are coming back on scene now that Remington's back up and running. So go get yourself one. Have some fun shooting clay pigeons. You know, get the right choke in there. Maybe use it for a waterfowl gun. They're a great all-around, affordable shotgun in 12 gauge. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all watching, and let's pan up to my face here. Hope y'all take it easy. Thanks, guys. See ya.